Hello.
Hello.
Hello there. Good evening. That's what the viewers come online. Ah,
Good evening, both of
welcome.
you.
Exactly. Welcome, everybody. It is. Go on, James. Do the welcoming spiel. I do it every
Good
week.
evening. This is Let's Talk Trek, brought to you in association with the Trekkie's Guide to the Galaxy and Riker's Beard. I'm joined this evening by mine host, Dan, from the Trekkie's Guide, and I'm James from the Riker's Beard. You'll notice that we're two chaps down this evening, so no Carl. He's tied up at work as usual. And Richard is unable to join us for other reasons, so just the B team this evening.
Absolutely. So I thought, as it's just the B team, we would. Evening, Val.
Artie Val, Nadeem.
How you doing?
Gary.
Gary. Gary, how you doing? B for best, apparently, is what we're going for.
B for best.
Oh,
B
the lovely Courtney's on. Hello, Courtney.
Hello.
So, I thought we'd have a little chat about some exciting news I got this week. Because
yes.
I'm not asking what you're doing. Okay, so I got some news this week that I'm going to be one of the free hosts of London Film and Comic Con in 2 weeks' time. And I'm doing various 30-minute and 45-minute panels interviewing various guests. And I thought it might be a good idea to tell you who the guests are that I'm interviewing and then see if anyone's got any questions that I can ask. Because, that would help me prep my panels out a little bit. And essentially...
he wants you to do his homework for him, dear viewer.
Essentially, yes, I want you to do my homework for me, is what... So, let me see. So, on Friday, I will be interviewing Marina Sirtis, who was Councillor Troy, obviously. I will be interviewing Claire Kramer. Now, Claire was Glory in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, amongst other roles. I'm doing a Gremlins panel with Zach Galligan and Francis Lee McCain. And we watched Gremlins a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, James?
We did, yes.
I'm also going to be interviewing Tim Russ of Tuvok fame, Connor Trinier from Enterprise, and then I'm doing a cosplay as a business panel with Yaya Han and the cosplay Q&A with Alison Tabitha. So that's my Friday. Saturday...
Friday, you're going to be pretty busy, aren't you?
I know. Saturday, I have Marina Sirtis, Jonathan Delarco, Connor Trinier, Alison Tabitha again, and Yaya Han again on the Saturday. And on the Sunday, I'm doing the LFCC quiz. I'm also interviewing Tim Russ, Ethan Phillips, and Jerry Ryan in a combined Voyager panel. So I've got the three of them on a Voyager panel. And then I'm also doing 45 minutes with Ethan Phillips by himself. And then there is another cosplay panel to be doing as well. So yeah, it's a busy, it's a busy old sort of weekend. And I'll be honest, it's a lot to prep in 2 weeks. So if anybody's got any questions I should be asking, keep them family friendly and clean. Something I can actually say on a microphone. I would appreciate that. James, any questions you want to ask?
Is the quiz an online quiz?
I haven't decided yet.
So as it stands, it'll be for everyone who's it's Olympia, isn't it, LFCC?
Yeah, I think it'll probably be pen and paper just due to constraints of it, and it's just me. So.
You don't need all the technical things. Any questions you think you want me to prep for the guests? Oh, I don't know. You could ask Marina Sirtis why she's not been to visit her shuttlecraft.
Yes, I could do that. Maybe. Greetings, Chris. Am I the only one from this? I assume what Nadim says there is, am I the only Trek guest on? That's from this show. I am the only one from us that's going. Everyone else has got other commitments. James is pretending to go have a social life. Richard is doing family stuff and Carl's working. So, Courtney, I spent forever before I let my kids watch Gremlins because in the first one, the character says that Santa isn't real. Wow.
Well, it's just pretend, Courtney. Just pretend.
Mark, evening. Mark, how you doing? Yeah, the Voyager panel with Jerry Ryan, Tim Russ, and even Phil. That's going to be really good. Hello, Linda. Ask Marina how she thinks Spurs will do next season.
For our readers or viewers who may not know, Spurs are an association football team.
Yes, they kick a ball, a round ball. Around.
Wrong shaped ball.
Yes. Yes. Carl is always working. You have no idea. Carl actually lives at his work, and that's actual truth. His property is above where he works. So he really does live at work.
Him, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
if you are going to London Film and Comic Con and you want to come and say hello, I will be frantically running around. Come and find me, say hello, buy me a coffee or buy me a beer or something like that. Say hello. Friday, I think I'll be busy, but Saturday, I've got some time. So time on Saturday to mooch around. I'm looking forward to going into a couple of the other talks as well. Back to the Future, Santiago Cabrera, some other stuff as well on Saturday. I'm planning to put my head into. So some exciting things. Yes, and I have to find my way into London, which I'm not overly keen on. London is a very difficult city to get into in the car. But that's a different story. Right, so anyway, Star Trek stuff.
Another strike, couldn't there?
Oh, golly. Yeah, exactly. So there's some Star Trek characters I'm going to be talking to. So what we're going to be talking with them about, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll prep something this week. What a week it has been in the Star Trek world this week. So have you kept up with the news this week, James, or should I quickly run through what's gone
on? Yeah, you run through it. Do the bullet points. I'll see if it rings any bells.
Okay, so Terry Matalas?
Yes.
He's the showrunner for season 3. He says that we're going to be getting some recurring sort of guests from TNG that are going to pop up, as well as the ones that we already know from the main cast. There's going to be some other people pop up. And he says it's also possible we may see some Deep Space Nine and or Voyager people. So who would you like to see pop up in Picard season 3?
Well, we had hints, didn't we, that Cisco might appear, didn't we, Dan? Because the one of the Par-Wraith tablets was seen in Picard's study, and there was always this lingering hint we were going to see something to do with the wormhole aliens, and therefore potentially Cisco.
Yeah, absolutely. The showrunner has said that the fallout from the Dominion War plays a big role in the upcoming season. So, yeah, Dominion War was very, very Cisco.
Indeed.
And I did say I had a theory that fire at the end of season 2 that the Borg helped stop was a Par-Wraith.
Yes, we don't know what that was, do we? And I mean, the TNG cast really had very little on-screen interaction with the Dominion War at all. It sort of kicked off after their TV series had come to an end, was ongoing while they were doing their films, but I don't think it was really mentioned, apart from possibly in passing in one of the films. So, yeah, I mean, no reason not to bring that in.
Absolutely. That's funny. How you doing? Welcome. Gary says, don't ask Richard for directions.
It's only this far on the map. It'll be walkable.
Oh, yes. Linda would like to see Chief O'Brien back, or the Cisco family would be better. So we'll see how that goes. Nadim says, isn't it back to Romulans again? Well, yeah, that's one of the rumours that's sort of floating around. Yeah.
We've done the Romulans. Let's have the Cardassians or someone again. Or maybe even Delta Quadrant aliens, because now they're meant to have slipstream drive, aren't they? So they're meant to be able to hop over to the Delta Quadrant quite easily now.
Other news from the Star Trek world this week is IDW, who our friend of the show, Tony Lee, has done some work for. Which James is now going to quickly go to the shelf marked IDW.
There we are.
There we go.
IDW, yes.
IDW. They are celebrating this week 15 years of Star Trek comics with a special 400th issue.
Ooh.
And they got a new Lower Decks comic series coming out as well. So exciting guys for IDW.
Indeedy.
If you are wondering where you can get
anyone at LFCC from IDW, Dan? After all, it is a Comic-Con.
I've seen that friend of the show, Tony Lee, has been announced as a guest. So
yes, he's definitely there, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I believe there's quite a few comic illustrators and things going. So, yeah, absolutely. Yes, looking forward to seeing Tony. What else? Star Trek Explorer magazine. There's a new issue of that out soon. So if you haven't yet booked it, to be picked up from your local magazine.
What is Star Trek Explorer magazine? I'm not familiar with that one. Is that the sequel to Internet Explorer?
Yes, James. It's like Internet Explorer, but less likely to crash.
It hasn't got Council of Troy driving then?
No. So Star Trek Explorer magazine is a magazine that comes out once a month. Once a quarter? I can't remember. Yeah. It's like the old Star Trek magazine. You know, the A4 glossy front bottom.
Yeah.
Remember it? Yeah. It's like that. And you can get it from All Good once a quarter. Thank you, Nadim. You can get it from All Good magazine retailers. If you go to your local one, they can order it in for you and things like that. So, yes, something to read in your spare time, James.
Beg your pardon?
I know how much spare time you have, James. So,
yes. Well, after we finish tonight, I'll be back to work, even though I'm on holiday.
Oh yes, of course. You're on leave at the moment, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to Essex.
So don't you live in Essex already?
No, I live in Kent.
It's close enough. Kent, Essex.
Don't you start that. That's like the argument between Lancashire and Yorkshire.
Okay, so why are you going to Essex, dear friend?
Because that's where we've booked somewhere to stay.
Oh, I see.
We got one of those cheap deals from the Sun. I had to get the vouchers earlier this year, and every time I went into the newsagent and bought the Sun, I had to buy a copy of Playboy to hide it in as I walked out.
Oh dear. Well,
change is as good as a rest.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So let's have a look. So Star Trek magazine's out soon. So if you haven't yet ordered it from your local ordering malarkey, order it. That's the order. Yours. Let's see what else.
Did I see some news about Discovery? They're making a season 5, I think. Did I see something about that?
Season 5 has been greenlit, yes. Yeah, I saw that. I'll be honest, I've spent most of the week being quite poorly. I've had tonsillitis. I've spent a lot of the week asleep. Working, I've gone back to work for annual leave. I've gone back to sleep and I've got really good antibiotics. So my head's not been right with it. And as I said in last week's show, I've had a bit of a weird head time anyway. So I'm not as much in the news as maybe I should be. And there's all this Comic-Con prep to do. So yes, that's the news. Did you watch the new Orville yet?
No, actually, I haven't. And what I am doing is, because the Orville's only like 10 episodes a season, isn't it? I'm just rewatching seasons 1 and 2. So I'm about 3 episodes from the end of season 2, and I'm going to come into it. But am I right, Dan, in hearing it sort of moved away from the comedy roots and it's going a bit more drama?
It's a bit more dark, I think is the word. It's gone a bit more a bit more Andromeda.
Oh, does that mean it's a lot louder?
Yes. It's
one thing I always remember about Andromeda was there was never a silent moment. They had to fill everything with an explosion or someone shouting or something.
Andromeda was a brilliant TV show, though. Yeah, I did love it as a TV show. It was
a joke, wasn't it? It was Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda, made nearly 20 years after he died. So, yes, I know he'd written the treatment for it originally, but yes, he wasn't involved in the making of it.
Well, indeed.
Good evening, Belgium. May we now have the votes from the Belgian jury.
United Kingdom, nil point. Yes. Have we been approached yet to host Eurovision next year?
Yes. Not only that, we're going to be doing the entry, Dan, and we're going to be re-releasing Bing Tiddle Tiddle Bong.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent. Looking forward to that one. So we are going to talk about
the Hedgehog song.
We are going to talk about last week's Star Trek Strange New Worlds. That's the one.
Yes. Now, in the comments, give us a thumbs up if you're loving Strange New Worlds, or a winky face, or if you like the blowjob face. You know, whatever. Just put something up there. Let us know what you're thinking of it. Are you loving it? Because I think it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Let's put up the warning before we talk about it.
Oh, okay then.
Please be aware that the following program contains scenes which may not be suitable for younger children. Some parental discretion is advised.
Indeed.
So last week's episode was the Serene Squall, and it's a pirate-based caper. I'm going to use the word caper because there's a lot of capering about going on, and some brilliant 60s style improvisation and escape plans by Pike and crew. What did you all think of that before we get on to the accent he does at the end?
Arr. Let's have a look. So we've got some hearts.
Yeah.
And some thumbs up.
Double thumbs up.
Double thumbs up. Now, if you are one of our United Kingdom viewers and you're thinking, oh my God, what are they talking about Strange New Worlds for? Well, people are putting their opinions of Strange New Worlds in the box. Did you know, James, that this week Paramount Plus was launched?
I am aware that Paramount Plus has launched. I'm aware that shares in Netflix are tumbling. Now, is it right, actually, Dan? Is all the Star Trek content leaving Netflix and moving over now to Paramount Plus?
There's been no official word of that yet. So,
what
I'd like to say is, and me and James will do this via a show of hands. If you do run two of the largest UK-based Star Trek things, just raise your hand. And if you didn't get an invite to the Paramount Plus launch party, seriously, what's with this? Where's the love? I had an email on the morning of it saying, oh yeah, there's this today if you want to come. It's like, that is just completely, oh yeah, we forgot about you. Fantastic. You can't invite me on the day.
I have no other plans. There's not a national rail strike on, and yeah, don't worry.
And I don't live in the other side of the country. You can't give me 4 hours notice to just rock up to London. It doesn't work like that.
There is it still there? The Paramount Plus experience is something that was opened in Piccadilly Circus or Leicester Square. I'm not sure how long it's there for. It might already be gone.
Possibly.
What was billed as I saw it was that they had sets there, including from Discovery. And leaving aside that it's from Discovery, I might still have gone. But I've seen photographs, and it's only, I think, the captain's chair from Discovery is there against a blue background. And I think they have some sort of transporter thing, which... well, effectively, it's just an opaque window where you appear and disappear. But I didn't see very much there. I've been told that you can go around it in under an hour. But nonetheless, if it's free, well, it's free. If you're in London, off you go.
Absolutely. And
you get much for free in life.
Well, very true. I mean, we have been very lucky to be invited to a lot of things. So I'll let P plus off for this one. Right, let's have a look. So Christoph says, why doesn't Facebook support searching for emoticons like Twitter says? I don't know, actually. Good point. Superstar.
Are we doing a Strange New Worlds plots in 3 words?
Yes, absolutely.
Nadeem, it has felt a bit that way, hasn't it? In that we've not been given the full access to Strange New Worlds. I gather Paramount Plus has only allowed 3 out so far. Now, Dan and I, obviously, every week have flown over to the States so that we could legally consume it. And it really is extremely tiring. Paramount hasn't thought of our carbon footprint whatsoever. We're causing colossal environmental damage to be able to watch Strange New Worlds legally. And it's disappointing.
For the record, Strange New Worlds isn't disappointing. It's disappointing in the lack of support.
Yeah, Strange New Worlds is far from disappointing. Strange New Worlds is everything we've been waiting for the last 20 years.
There is... So this week's episode, and I think Nadim just put it perfectly, which is Soup Starts a Mutiny. I think that's the most perfect description of this episode. How long did it take you to sort of realise that she wasn't the scientist? When did you realise that twist was coming?
Oh, well, it was obviously before the big reveal because you thought it's too easy. It's too easy. You've got the unknown character who they trust and tag along with them. Yes. But it's a very classic 60s style plot, and that's one of the things I like about Strange New Worlds. It's going back to that villain of the week, monster of the week, non-story arc style that we were used to. Story arcs are fantastic. Deep Space Nine was one of the first shows that did it, and did it very well as well. But sometimes you just want to be able to dip in and out and go, I fancy watching an episode today, but I don't want to have to watch them all in sequence.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you can sort of do that with DS9 to a point. I think you've seen DS9 a couple of times.
Episode, I grant you, yeah.
You can cherry pick, but not, yeah. In Stranger Worlds this week, or last week, rather, I really liked her ship. You know, the sort of spidery looking one that sort of came off there. It had little that was cool.
Yeah.
That was a very cool feature. I sort of expected it to sort of clamp itself on it. It didn't, so I was quite disappointed when it didn't do that.
Did you know, Dan, that the original pirate accent, as expounded by Hollywood, comes from the Southwest, and it just happens to be because a Southwestern actor, as in someone from Bristol or thereabouts, was cast as a pirate. I learned that on QI, you know.
Oh, really? So, army pirates as well.
It's West Country, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
Was it QI or was it The Wall? It was a quiz show, anyway.
So, essentially, the episode, if you haven't watched it, was the female Jack Sparrow trying to commandeer a ship. There was a line, "Get out of my chair." Yeah.
Yeah, my pub.
Oh, bless. Overall, how would you have rated the episode? We'll give you...
Oh, I'll give it 10 out of 10.
I'm going to give it 8, just for... and only for Anson Mount's disappointing pirate accent at the end. It didn't need it.
You mean where they sledgehammered that in for no reason at all?
It was almost so bad. There are certain Trek scenes where it's well known now that improvisation happened. For instance, Data doing his life forms thing was completely improv, and you can tell from the crew's reaction that, what? I almost feel like that was an improv on Anson Mount's thing that they just left in, because you look at number one's face, it's like, what the hell? There is no confirmation that happened, by the way. But if you look at the reaction on it, she's like, what? Okay, I'm just gonna roll with this.
It's very much back to TOS, where you'd have Kirk and McCoy usually teasing Spock at the end.
Yes.
And little things like that. Although Kirk would never have gone, "Arr!"
Let's have
What's
a look.
that? Right, okay. Well, that's unusual.
What did you think to this scene of Spock divorcing his wife via "You're divorced"?
Well, speaking strictly as a matrimonial law professional, I found the lack of procedure disturbing.
sort of makes your lot redundant, doesn't it?
Well,
Quite.
yes, quite. You know.
Have a good life. Bye. Wow. Okay.
Well, I suppose it was more a breaking off of an engagement, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm really liking the character of T'Pring so far. And they are finding ways to put her into more episodes than I would have thought was possible in a 10-episode season.
Yeah, she only appeared once, I think, in the original series.
I think we're up to, is it 4 or 5 appearances now? So,
so how many episodes? We've only got 3 left, haven't we? So this week's was the Elysian Kingdom, which I've not yet seen because I've not been able to go to the States. And 2 more to go after that. So we finished just before LFCC, actually.
Indeed. Yes.
Is anyone from Strange New Worlds doing LFCC, Dan?
Do what, sorry?
Is there anyone from Strange New Worlds attending LFCC?
Good question. Let me have a look. You fill in the
I hope it's them, but there's no other UK Trek events, really, so it's a bit surprising they wouldn't take the opportunity to do a bit of press, isn't it?
Oh, they've put the schedule out today on the LFCC Facebook page, and there is still a couple of gaps in it. So, who knows? You know, maybe there'll be some more. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
Well, if Anson Mount comes and you get to interview him, could you please ask him to talk us through the quiff? Does it actually get taller every week?
Robert O'Reilly's going. I know that. Klingon space pirate.
Glory to your house.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a drink with him one year, didn't we? He was a good laugh.
He was a great laugh. Yeah.
And yeah, he refused to do Garon for us,
which is a bad do, really.
I'm not doing it.
Oh dear. So I'm just actually looking because we're interviewing Zach Galligan, and he's been in loads of stuff. I had in my head he'd been in Star Trek, but apparently not.
Well, IMDb is, of course, your friend. It means you don't have to do any research at all. It's all done for you.
Absolutely. And a lot of this is going to be Q&A. I'll be wandering around with a microphone and then letting people ask questions.
Indeed. If in doubt, let someone else ask a question.
Absolutely. So, yeah, there is that. But, yeah, I mean, there is nobody on the list yet looking at it from Strange New Worlds. We do, of course, have, you know, Santiago Cabrera and Jerry Ryan representing Picard. Sorry, look at this. I do apologize. So, Crystal says,
I'd never look.
James is just disappointed there's no divorce lawyers on Vulcan or in Starfleet.
We don't know that there aren't.
The newest Strange New World episode is more touch than ever and quite magic in a good way. The Trek Zone, yeah. Zach Galligan was in Voyager. There we go. I knew I saw him in Star Trek somewhere.
What's it say in his bio? IMDb biography. Well, there we go.
Here you see what the real life prep work that goes into doing panels when we are currently doing live. I also have the quiz to write, which I've got to make fairly easy. So,
Ensign David Gentry, 1 episode. 1998, so that would be about the 3rd season then.
So yeah. So yeah, that's sort of where we're up to. So it's a bit of a different sort of show today because obviously we usually have everyone else to sort of bounce off, which is.
We haven't done the features for a few weeks, have we? We should get some back.
We should really do some features, and I apologise for features. And I think after last week, people now have an idea of why my head's not been doing features and stuff. And I do apologise. Right. I mean, we do have. Let's see if we've got any features preloaded.
I don't know if any of my wish clips are kicking around. It's been ages since we did one of them.
I did a cleanse of all of the clips because there was thousands in the gallery, so I took loads out. I have one here that's called Airwolf, and I don't know what that is.
I know what that is. That's where someone does a helicopter impression.
Okay, so let's not press that one then.
Do you remember what that clip is now, Dan?
No.
You don't? It's a special performance from Richard.
Ladies and gentlemen, a special performance from Richard.
Oh, no.
Wow.
You remember it now, don't you?
I do, yeah. Oh, dear.
Kif, get me my spare uniform. It's the law.
Oh, dear. 2 seconds, James. It's The Hague. They'd like us to take that clip of Richard down, please. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, dear. Well,
you think they'd have bigger fish to fry, wouldn't you, with war in Ukraine? But
absolutely.
No, they're always on at me for dancing and singing in public.
Question for you: as you are one of these a legal professional, and we don't
Hello.
really...
Hang on. If you're going to ask me a legal question, let me just start the timer.
It's like the timer inside a taxi. The money meter starts ticking over. Trek has had several episodes based around legal practice, and I'm just trying to think of a couple. I mean, there's
Measure of a Man.
Measure of a Man. There's the one with
Simon
Tarsis, drumhead.
Yeah.
There's the one where Worf in Deep Space Nine they're asking, can they extradite him to Kronos for destroying a ship full of civilians? How well does Trek do the legal thing? Does it do it well? Is it? I mean, it's written well for the show.
I'm going to do what the Americans call here and plead the Fifth, which is the Fifth Amendment to the United States of North America's Constitution, legal fans, because I must say I'm not a fan of certain decisions their Supreme Court has issued this week.
Yes, we are not fans of that. And that's a completely different subject, but we are absolutely firm believers that people should have the right to choose what to do what they do with their own lives.
I mean, can you imagine what Her Majesty would think of these decisions?
It is a troubling time in the world. Linda just said, when O'Brien is put on trial in Deep Space Nine.
Oh, is that when he's in some alien prison and the sentence is that he lives in a cell for 20 years, but it's all in his head? It's like the same way that Picard has the
actually, O'Brien went to trial a couple of times. There's that one that you're talking about. There's also the trial where he's taken to Cardassia because the sentence is already decided before the trial. And the trial...
Yes, the outcome is decided before the trial in Cardassian trials, yes.
Yes, and the line is... Let me find the line. It's something like... I'm
going to have to turn off my waving cat. It's knocking and making too much noise.
Here we go. I knew I could find it if I looked. Yes. Ducat says to Sisko, on Cardassia, the verdict is always known before the trial begins. It's always the same. So Sisko says, in that case, why bother with a trial at all? And Ducat comes back with, because the people demand it. They enjoy watching justice triumph over evil every time. They find it comforting. And Sisko says, well, there's not a chance that you might try an innocent man by mistake, to which Ducat just comes out with, Cardassians don't make mistakes.
Well, perhaps they've just reversed the British system, which is, of course, innocent until proven guilty, to guilty until proven innocent.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's well, no, it was one of those. I saw. I was in work doing some work in the office today. I had track on the phone in the background, and Drumhead was on, and I was like, "Oh, this is a good episode." I was like,
Well,
"Oh, I
the
really."
Drumhead is a brilliant Sir Patrick Stewart soliloquy, isn't he? When he starts talking about when the first link is forged, when the first so and so. Yes, absolutely brilliant delivery by Sir Patrick, and another brilliant Picard speech.
Absolutely. Picard does so many of these good speeches. You know, actually, a lot of them are in that sort of type of episode. You know, I'm just thinking Measure of a Man is very much a Picard. Yeah.
Yes. He says, so what are your criteria for sentience, Commander Maddox? So he's now met 3 of your criteria. What if he meets the next?
Do you know? Do you know? Ooh, yes. Yes, and the first duty, the other Picard, the first duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth, whether that be scientific truth, personal truth.
Yes, etc.
Yeah, etc. So Picard is indeed, Mark is right, a wise man.
Oh, he's the very model of a modern Starfleet captain. He is the very model of a modern Starfleet captain.
Do you think that they've brought some of that wisdom across with Pike in Strange New Worlds, or is Pike a bit more gung ho? It's sort of that. It's that not as gung ho as Archer, because Archer was very much the rules haven't been written yet. I can do what I want.
Yes, there is no prime directive. That's why I'm not fussed by that.
Yeah. Whereas Picard has got the thing of there are now courts and JAG officers and stuff, so you've got to sort of behave yourself a little bit. And then you've got Kirk, who knew what the rules were, but just completely ignored them anyway. Yeah.
Kirk would find that they didn't apply to him for some reason, or that he very often applied the better to seek forgiveness than permission tactic.
Yeah. Which in itself is a very...
The prime directive wasn't written with this scenario in mind, therefore it doesn't apply.
I mean, in Strange New Worlds, just in the pirate episode, there's the bit where, and sort of circling back to this, they are, we shouldn't be going into this part of space until we hear back from Starfleet. And Pike's like, well, look, we'll drop a sensor boy, we'll go, because it's going to take time for the message to come back and tell me I can't go anyway. So, you know, let's go and have a look before they tell me no.
Yes, until I've been told I can't, I've got an implied authority that I can. Well, Pike is... they used the phrase Boy Scout about him, I think, in this episode.
Yes.
And said, it's in your file, Captain, which was very funny. Particularly that his executive officer had been able to read his file. So you wonder what's in there that can be read and by whom. But yes, he's much more of an inspirational leader. He's got charisma. He's got this warm, commanding presence. Picard had a very commanding presence. It wasn't a warm one, necessarily. You didn't always warm to Picard in the same way that you do with Pike. But by God, if he told you to go somewhere, you'd follow him.
Yeah, very much so. Although, I mean, that's hopefully what we're going to see in Picard season 3. You know, the fact that when he needs his crew back, by the sound of it, they're all going to drop whatever they're doing and come back to him. You know what I mean? It's, which again is that sense of leadership and friendship and camaraderie they had. You know, all came from the way he led. So,
do you remember the episode of Red Dwarf where Rimmer claims that the crew respect him so much that those boys would crawl across a field of broken glass with their flies unzipped if I gave the order?
Oh. And if you are a fan of Red Dwarf, then Chris Barry will be at LFCC this week.
Oh, he's good. He's a good laugh, is Chris Barry.
Yes, lots of time for Chris Barry.
Very funny man. He came on our bridge and he sat in my chair. We're going, I'm Captain Rimmer.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing Bernard Cribbins.
Everybody loves Bernard Cribbins.
Yeah,
he's of course been in the new Doctor Who. He'll probably have an NDA saying he can't tell anything about it, but he's been seen filming with David Tennant and Catherine. Forgot her last name. Redhead lady.
Catherine Tate.
Yes. Donna Noble is a character. Yeah.
Not Catherine Zeta-Jones, which is where
your
mind
Jones. No, she's married to a very elderly man, whereas Catherine Tate has Bernard Cribbins as her grandfather in Doctor Who.
Indeed.
Bernard Cribbins is absolute national treasure. I don't believe he's a knight, which is surprising because so many of generations past him have been given knighthoods. But he certainly deserves one, in my view.
Have you been watching the... talking of knights, did you watch any of the... And we're not talking Star Trek at this point. I do apologise. We're just turning into a general matter at this point. Did you watch any of the Glastonbury?
I've watched a little bit of the Glastonbury. I saw a bit of Paul McCartney last night. Until like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure the BBC stream was an hour behind or something. But
it was. The argument that was being had online was that the BBC, for Sir Paul, put him back by an hour. But apparently that was at the request of the artist. So,
well, at the end of the day, you're not there whether you're watching it live or an hour behind, are you? So what's the difference?
Yeah.
And he had Dave Grohl and Bruce Springsteen came on stage with him.
It's certainly it's nice to see the world sort of slowly with like Glastonbury and with Comic-Con and with events like Secret Cinema and stuff. It's nice to see the world starting to start rolling again after the long pause of COVID.
2 whole years of disruption.
Yeah, and people's are appreciating events more. I think there's real appreciation of we've missed this. I think it has got to the point where they were so commonplace and people just took them for granted. But now there's a proper appetite for we've missed events like this, and that's if anything good comes from COVID, that's the one. So yeah. Let's have a look. You can watch snippets from Enemy. You also with Virtual John there. There we go. So yes,
it was an ultimately British experience when he came to his finale. Of course, it was always going to be "Hey Jude," wasn't it? So the crowd obviously belted all out, and he makes them sing along. And then after he goes off stage, they carry on singing, hoping for an encore. And he did then come on and he played for another half an hour, I think, after that. So "Hey Jude" wasn't the finale, but it was a lovely British moment.
And if the events organisers at Buckingham Palace are listening, I am very disappointed that you did not invite Sir Paul McCartney to come and do the Jubilee this year. So,
look, we've got an extra person in the joining box. Look,
did you notice the second we started talking about music and not about Star Trek, the extra person showed up?
Another knight has appeared.
Shall we let the knight in? Does the knight want to come in?
Let Sir in, yes. Go on.
Sir has his own access. He can just put himself in. Or not.
Come on, Sir Richard. Join us. There he is.
What, hi, chaps. How are we doing?
Hello. We're just talking about how the public's appetite for events seems to be back, and we're seeing that this weekend with festivals and the Glastonbury Music Festival and things like that.
Yeah. It's a shame Paramount and CBS aren't giving us one, but hey, there we go. I just wanted to hop on, and I apologise, I've not seen the rest of the show, so you've probably spoken about this already, but I wanted to just jump on very quickly, just to pass on my hearty congratulations to Dan. I know I'm going through some stuff at the moment. I've not been very responsive in group chats and bits and pieces, but I really am made up for you, mate. Absolutely thrilled, and it's fully deserved.
Thank you, buddy.
And you're going to be fantastic. You really are. So,
well that or in 2 weeks' time, we'll be talking on the Sunday show about how I managed to mess it up horrendously and call someone by the wrong name. So, Ladies and gentlemen, Kate Mulgrew. No, Jerry Ryan. Ah.
If you like, I can do some flashcards of in each situation. What would Richard do? If that would.
If you think it will help.
Yeah. Why not?
Should I just take my guitar and just randomly? What would Richard do?
I think that would be. I think it would be very much. Yeah. What would Richard do in this situation? Garçon, where's the wine waiter?
I feel like
he was doing okay till he fell off the stage. He was doing okay till he came on the stage.
I'm feeling like I should buy a WWRD T-shirt to go underneath my jacket. What would Richard do? Yeah.
Generally, as you're aware, my response to any situation is to assess it and then leave. But you're not really going to have that option, I don't think. Well, you say that, Auntie Val.
Yeah, we played the clip, Richard.
What clip?
This clip.
What would Richard do? There you go. There you have it.
Yeah, it's the Hague again. I'll tell him.
Please don't give me up to the Hague again.
You've been summoned, Dan.
Oh, sorry. Like I say, maybe they should be busy doing other stuff. There's still a big hoo-ha going on in the world. Maybe that's a bit more important that they deal with. So, oh well, that's it for today's show anyway. So thank you for coming on and watching us. There'll be more proper show next week. We're going to be discussing this week's Strange New Worlds next week.
Did you do your scores for Strange New Worlds?
We did. I gave it an 8, mainly for the pirate accent.
I gave it a 10, Richard. Don't worry, it's fine.
I gave it a 4 because it was crap.
Oh.
However, the Orville has been superb. If you're lucky enough to subscribe to Disney Plus, which has been available in this country for a couple of years now, you can get the Orville up to episode 4, which has been outstanding.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to keep the Orville on the back burner until Strange New Worlds is finished, because then I don't want to have used up all the really good stuff in one hit. I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi's been on. That finished this week, and that was absolutely superb.
And I completely get all that, except I'm just binging on as much stuff to distract me as possible. So I've been binging the Orville, Strange New Worlds. I've been binging Obi-Wan, the lot. I've been binge festing.
As we before I say this, all three of us, we have all seen the last episode of Obi-Wan, yes?
Yes.
Magnificent.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, the whole Obi-Wan thing has been really well done.
I preferred The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. But the James, what's the word I'm looking for? The episode just before the last one, is it penultimate? Penultimate. I thought the penultimate episode of Obi-Wan is some of the best Star Trek I've seen in years. That was incredible. But the ending was
Star Trek you've seen in years.
Star Wars.
Okay, yes.
I've been out in the sun for a long time today, literally about from 8:30 till 3 o'clock. I've been out in the sun, so leave me alone.
It makes me wonder, actually. The Obi-Wan made me have a small thing, which is, I wonder if we could get away in the Star Trek universe with having small 6-episode long seasons based on a character, rather than like Picard was 10, but based on Picard. Whether or not like a side character, not a character
like Neelix, like what happens to Neelix after Voyager because he stays in the Delta Quadrant.
Just 4 or 5 episodes as a sort of small season.
He could open up his own cantina or bistro, a bit like Mos Eisley. It'd be brilliant.
What? So you're thinking like a Neelix Nightmares, sort of like a Hell's Kitchen / Gordon Ramsay /
People could come in and he could. Do you remember our briefing with Neelix? Do you remember that?
Cooking with Neelix, yeah.
You won't believe the things I can do with Neola root, Captain.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I think that'd be a good. I'll watch it.
Oh,
Star
you're making
Trek-
me look like my Neelix cookbook. I do have one somewhere. Oh, well, thank you for watching, boys and girls. We will see you next week. From all of us, have a great one.
Toodle pip.
Toodle
Look
bit.
after yourselves and each other.